All right, so chapter 8, meiosis. This is going to be where we're going to make sperm and eggs. And variation, variation, variation. Okay, this is very different from mitosis. Remember, mitosis is all about making genetically identical cells. Meiosis, on the other hand, is all about making genetically different cells. Okay, so a couple of things we need to talk about before we get into actually looking at how meiosis works. So meiosis is going to be used for sexual reproduction. Obviously, we're going to make sperm and eggs, but we're going to only use those special cells to make the sperm and eggs, aka gametes. Right, so those are the cells made by meiosis. So the special cells made by meiosis are gametes, sperm and eggs, and there are special cells that are making those. Okay, so there are special cells that have actually evolved to continually divide and produce sperm, and then to produce the egg cells as well. And then the other thing that we need to talk about are these other two terms here, diploid and haploid. So these two terms, diploid and haploid, we haven't had to talk about yet because we haven't needed to talk about the numbers of chromosomes in the cells themselves. We've talked about the fact that there are 46 chromosomes. You then end up with 92 chromatids after DNA replication. But we need to talk about diploid and haploid because meiosis is going to be working to change the number of chromosomes in the cells. So diploid, di is just like bi. Di means two. And so if an organism is diploid, that means it has two copies of each chromosome. So remember when we talked first about chromosomes a while back, I told you that humans have 23 unique chromosomes. However, we have two copies of each, which is why we have a total of 46, right? So humans, our normal cells, are diploid because we've got two copies of each chromosome. We get one from mom, one from dad. Okay? So that's how we end up being diploid. Haploid, on the other hand, ha means one. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it means. So haploid means one copy. Okay? So if a cell is haploid, it means it has only a single copy of each chromosome. So for humans, how many chromosomes would there be in a haploid cell? And it's 23, right? Because in a diploid cell, we have 46, diploid for 2. So in a haploid cell, we're going to have 23 chromosomes. So why does this matter? Well, the thing is that we use meiosis to make sure that our genome size stays stable. And this is whether it's humans or fruit flies or corn, doesn't matter. Anything that uses sexual reproduction is going to be using meiosis to keep their genome the same size. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. So we are diploid, right? We normally have 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs, right? So that's why we are diploid, right? We've got pairs of each of our chromosomes. Then we're going to do meiosis. Meiosis is going to cut down the number of chromosomes to 23. I'm going to do some math along the side over here. If we did mitosis. Okay, so if we use mitosis instead, So here we start with 46 and 46 for the male and the female, right? If we used mitosis to make the gametes, we'd still end up with 46 and 46, because if we use mitosis, we're making genetically identical cells, right? Then we do fertilization. So these come together to make our fertilized egg, right? So if we're doing mitosis and we used it to make our gametes, 46 and 46 means we'd end up with an egg that's fertilized with a total of 92 chromosomes. And that would be a problem, right? Why would this be a problem? Yeah, it's way too many chromosomes. And we'll talk in another lecture that just a single chromosome is too much, let alone all of this extra stuff, right? So that's why we're going to use meiosis. So we're going to start with 46 total, 23 pairs, cut it down to the haploid number, so one of each chromosome. So we've got 23 and 23, so that when we do fertilization, we're back to 46 total chromosomes for the offspring. Okay? So just like mitosis, we use mitosis to make genetically identical cells, and that was the important thing for mitosis. Meiosis has some general important features as well. One, it reduces the genetic material in the gametes, right? So we go from diploid cells in the adult to haploid cells in the gametes. So we're going from diploid to haploid gametes. So that's one of the big things. It's cutting down the amount of genetic information. The other important part of meiosis is that it's creating gametes that are all different from each other in respect to the combinations of alleles. Remember, alleles are the versions of the genes that they carry. And so you'll see in the next video that there are a couple of different ways that you can get different genetic combinations in those gametes at the end. So one, we're reducing the amount of genetic information, and two, we're getting genetically different gametes at the end. All right, so the next video is going to take you through meiosis just like mitosis.